What if every day of your life was controlled, right down to what you are allowed to wear? In North Korea, it is reality. The government enforces strict rules, from dress codes to limited internet access. Nearly every part of daily life is watched and controlled. But what happens beyond the obvious rules is even more disturbing. There are daily routines, restrictions, and truths that most of the world never sees. In this video, we'll explore what daily life is really like under one of the world's most secretive regimes. Keep watching to uncover the shocking reality. Inside the Korean demilitarized zone, the tense border between North and South Korea, sits a strange village called Ryugyang. From afar, it looks like a thriving town, with colorful buildings, a school, and a hospital. Lights flicker on and off, giving the illusion of life. But the truth is stark: no one lives there. Built in the early 1950s during the Korean War, North Korea constructed Ryugyang as a propaganda tool. The goal was to convince people in the South that life in the North was modern and prosperous. But the buildings are just shells. Some have no floors, windows are painted on, and lighting is run by timers. At the village's center stands a 160-meter flagpole, about 525 feet, flying a massive North Korean flag. It was once one of the tallest in the world, built to rival the flag in South Korea's Daejeon-dong. Over time, the illusion faded. Today, Ryugyang is a ghost village, a symbol of state image-making. And with humans kept out of the DMZ, the surrounding area has quietly become a haven for wildlife like deer and birds. Next, learn about how travel rights are controlled in this country. In North Korea, movement is tightly controlled. Traveling to another city requires a written permit from local authorities. Citizens must carry identification documents that list their residence, job, and permission to travel. Without approval, being caught on the move can result in arrest, detention, or forced labor in state-run camps. International travel is nearly impossible. Ordinary citizens are banned from leaving the country. Only selected individuals like diplomats, state workers abroad, or athletes are allowed to travel, and always under close watch. Their families often remain behind as leverage, a tactic known as hostage diplomacy. Why such extreme control? Because even a glimpse of the outside world, free markets, open media, or modern cities could spark dangerous questions. Exposure threatens the regime's control over thought. In North Korea, freedom of movement equals access, and access leads to awareness. That's why every step is tracked, every road is guarded, and every traveler is watched. If movement within the country is nearly impossible, what about time itself? North Korea found a way to control that too. On August 15, 2015, North Korea created its own time zone, known as Pyongyang time, by turning clocks back 30 minutes to UTC plus 8 hours and 30 minutes. This shift, implemented at 11:30 p.m., was more than a technical adjustment. It was a symbolic break from Japanese colonial rule, which lasted from 1910 to 1945. Before the change, North Korea, South Korea, and Japan all shared the same time zone, UTC plus 9 hours. By adopting a different standard, North Korea aimed to reclaim a pre-colonial identity and assert its independence. However, the decision caused practical issues. The 30-minute gap complicated cross-border communication, travel, and coordination, especially for international organizations and visitors. Despite the disruptions, Pyongyang time became a statement of sovereignty. In a region built on coordination, North Korea chose to move by its clock. A quiet yet powerful display of national pride, repeated every single day. And when it comes to controlling the mind, nothing is more effective than controlling what people can see, read, or click. In North Korea, owning a computer isn't a right. It's a privilege granted by the state. Devices must be registered with authorities, and all software is government approved. Most citizens don't have access to the global internet. Instead, they're limited to a closed domestic network called Kwanmyang, or Bright Star, which offers fewer than 30 websites. These sites include regime-approved news, educational material, and basic content like recipes or health tips. No social media, no international news, no outside opinions. Even online activity is heavily monitored. Every click, search, and page view is tracked. The goal is simple: control information to protect the regime's narrative. A small number of elites, such as students at Pyongyang University of Science and Technology, may access the global internet, but only under strict surveillance. In September 2016, U.S. security engineer Matthew Bryant briefly accessed North Korea's public DNS and found just 28 functioning websites, all reinforcing state ideology. In North Korea, the internet isn't about connection. It's about control, and every digital window is carefully locked. But beyond information, there's something else the regime fears even more: a belief system that doesn't revolve around the state. Before we continue, I have a special 10-second request for all of you listening. If you can help me in any way, just press the notification bell and hit that subscribe button. It means the world. It really supports this channel, and if you do that for me, I promise my team and I will do everything we can to make this show even better for you. Deal? In North Korea, faith is treated as a crime. The state promotes Juche and Songun ideologies, rejecting religion entirely. Christianity is especially targeted, seen as a threat to the regime's control. Loyalty must belong only to the ruling family, Kim Il-sung, Kim Jong-il, and Kim Jong-un, whose portraits are displayed in every home and school. There are no public churches. Worship is banned. Owning a Bible or praying in secret can lead to arrest, torture, or even execution. Families have been sent to Kwanli-so, North Korea's political prison camps, simply for possessing religious material. Surveillance is constant. Through Inminban neighborhood watch units and state-run schools, citizens are encouraged to report religious activity. Even children are trained to report to their parents. In this climate, belief is dangerous. A quiet prayer or a hidden Bible can cost lives. And yet, underground faith persists in whispers, in secret meetings, and in quiet acts of courage. So what happens when the state dreams big but reality hits hard? The answer lies in a 105-story monument of silence. Rising over Pyongyang's skyline, the Ryugyang Hotel is North Korea's most iconic unfinished project. At 105 stories, it was meant to be the tallest hotel in the world when construction began in 1987. The plan included over 3,000 rooms, rotating restaurants, and full-scale conference halls. However, by 1992, construction halted after the collapse of the Soviet Union triggered a severe financial crisis. For years, the pyramid-shaped structure stood windowless and abandoned. In 2008, Egypt's Orascom Group began installing glass panels and added LED lighting by 2011, giving the building its glowing facade. Yet despite the modern exterior, the hotel remains unopened and empty as of 2025. Attempts to attract foreign investors failed due to international sanctions and the regime's isolation. Concerns also persist about structural safety and earthquake resistance. Today, the Ryugyang Hotel is a silent monument to North Korea's unfulfilled ambitions, a glowing shell that hides decades of delay, defiance, and political complexity. If the tallest building in the country stays empty for decades, what does that say about the system behind it? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. In the heart of Pyongyang, North Korea's capital, a group of young women directs traffic with precision and grace. Dressed in crisp blue and white uniforms, these traffic controllers are not ordinary civil servants. They're symbols of national pride and discipline in a country where control is absolute. To qualify, candidates must be between 16 and 26, tall, unmarried, physically attractive, and from politically loyal families. Above all, they must show unwavering allegiance to the ruling Workers' Party of Korea. Training is strict, involving detailed hand signals performed with military-style discipline. Their shifts rotate every 30 minutes to maintain focus, but they work long hours, regardless of the weather. To outsiders, their routines seem surreal. To locals, they represent the order and image the regime upholds. Recently, a leaked photo from near Sinuiju on the Chinese border showed officials inspecting a young woman reportedly involved in a state-run endurance experiment. Defectors claim she was part of a medically supervised program testing physical limits. Whether propaganda or something more disturbing, the truth remains unclear. But the control doesn't end with uniforms or signals. In North Korea, even your bloodline can betray you. In North Korea, punishment doesn't end with the individual, it extends to their parents, children, and even grandchildren. This is known as the 3 generations of punishment policy, based on Yeonjeduaji, or guilt by association. If someone is accused of a political offense, such as speaking against the government or attempting to flee, their entire family can face detention. Involvement is not required. In this system, guilt is inherited. The policy began under Kim Il-sung and continues under Kim Jong-un, aimed at discouraging dissent. Individuals and their relatives are sent to Kwanlee-so, or political prison camps, where conditions are harsh, marked by food shortages and limited medical care. Children may grow up inside these facilities. Elders may remain there for acts they did not commit. Silence becomes a means of survival for oneself and one's family. Defectors who escape often express deep concern for the relatives they left behind. Still think a simple gesture doesn't matter. In North Korea, a wrinkled portrait can ruin lives. In North Korea, even a small act of disrespect, like damaging a portrait of Kim Il-sung, Kim Jong-il, or Kim Jong-un, can lead to arrest. The leaders are treated as sacred and loyalty is mandatory. Citizens are required to attend state events, including celebrations like the Day of the Sun. Refusing or showing disinterest can result in surveillance or punishment. The media is fully controlled by the Korean Central Broadcasting Committee. All content glorifies the regime. Foreign media, especially from South Korea or the United States, is banned under the Reactionary Ideology and Culture Rejection Law, passed in December 2020. And while some countries export pop culture, North Korea punishes anyone who dares consume it. In North Korea, the government tightly controls culture. All media, from music to TV, are censored. While traditional performances are promoted, anything foreign, especially from South Korea, is banned. K-pop, known globally for its energy and style, is viewed by the regime as a threat. It represents freedom, modern youth culture, and ideas that challenge North Korea's strict values of obedience and isolation. In December 2020, the regime passed the Reactionary Ideology and Culture Rejection Law, banning all foreign content. Possessing K-pop songs or South Korean dramas can lead to punishment. Still, many North Koreans risk smuggling in banned content. Flash drives and microSD cards, often brought in from China, carry music videos and TV shows that offer a rare glimpse of life beyond the regime's borders. Watching a single song or episode may seem small, but in North Korea it's an act of quiet resistance. At the heart of it all lies a single belief. The leader is not just above the law, he is the law. In North Korea, the leader is more than a president, he is the embodiment of the state. From early childhood, citizens are taught to venerate the Kim family, not simply obey. This begins with Kim Il-sung, the country's founder and eternal president, a title officially granted in 1998, 4 years after his death. His image is everywhere, from homes to schools, and his ideology shapes national identity through self-reliance and absolute loyalty. His son, Kim Jong-il, inherited the leadership and the legend. State media portrayed him as a military genius and cultural icon, continuing the family's narrative of perfection. Now, Kim Jong-un, in power since 2011, maintains this legacy. He's shown leading the military, solving problems, and guiding the people, all with authority and compassion. But loyalty isn't optional. Statues must be cleaned. Lapel pins with the Kim's faces are worn daily. Public bowing is mandatory, and disrespect can lead to punishment. Through this cult of personality, North Korea makes obedience a moral duty. If the leader is flawless, questioning him becomes unthinkable. And that's how belief becomes control, every single day. What do you think it would feel like to grow up believing your leader is more than human? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and follow the channel to discover more interesting things. In North Korea, communication is tightly controlled. Phone calls, internet access, and even landlines are monitored by the Ministry of State Security. As of 2025, about 6 million North Koreans own mobile phones, but they run on Korealink, a closed domestic network with no access to the global internet or international calling. Calling abroad requires special government permission and must be done through monitored landlines. The cost of a single international call can equal several months' salary, making it inaccessible to most. Only a few approved users, typically elites, can use these lines, and all activity is watched. Citizens are limited to Kwangmyeong, a state-run intranet with only regime-approved content. There is no access to foreign websites, independent news, or global platforms. These restrictions aren't due to a lack of infrastructure. They are a deliberate strategy. By controlling all information, the regime ensures that no outside influence can challenge its narrative. And if you think that's strict, wait until you hear what happens if you fold the newspaper the wrong way. In North Korea, mishandling a newspaper can be a political offense. The Rodong Sinmun, the state's main newspaper, often features images of Kim Jong-un, and damaging or folding his photo is seen as disrespect. Even accidental creases can lead to punishment. By law, images of Kim Il-sung, Kim Jong-il, and Kim Jong-un must be treated with care. Newspapers may not be used to wrap items, wipe surfaces, or be discarded casually. Dropping one on the ground or stepping on it is considered a violation of loyalty. Such acts are monitored by Inminban neighborhood groups and the Ministry of State Security. Penalties can include public criticism sessions or short-term detention, depending on the perceived intent. This policy isn't just about paper, it's about power. In North Korea, every action, even how you handle a newspaper, is a test of political loyalty. Control extends to the smallest gestures, reinforcing a culture where fear governs behavior, and even touching the wrong corner of a page can raise suspicion. Your look, your style, even that's not yours to decide. Next. In North Korea, even your haircut is controlled by the state. Across the country, salons display government-issued posters with a limited list of approved styles. For men, hair must be kept short, no longer than 5 centimeters. Sideburns cannot reach below the ears. The most common style? The one worn by Kim Jong-un, used as a symbol of loyalty. For women, hairstyle rules depend on marital status. Married women may have slightly longer hair with simple accessories. Unmarried women are expected to keep their hair short and neat. Hair dye, curls, or Western-style trends are banned. Compliance is enforced. Inminban neighborhood groups report rule breakers and officials inspect salons. An unapproved look can lead to public shaming, written warnings, or even forced haircuts. Why such tight control? Because in North Korea, conformity is political. A bold hairstyle could suggest independent thinking, and that is seen as dangerous. And finally, in North Korea, even a pair of jeans can challenge the system. In North Korea, clothing isn't just personal, it's political. Each day, citizens dress not for expression but for survival. Outfits must be modest, conservative, and reflect socialist values. Blue jeans, while not banned by law, are discouraged as symbols of Western capitalism and individualism. Instead, state-approved styles include hanbok-inspired outfits and uniform-like clothing. The regime enforces strict rules on hairstyles, makeup, and school uniforms, aiming to eliminate anything that appears too foreign. Bright colors or flashy fashion can attract suspicion. This isn't just about appearance, it's a tool of control. Uniformity reinforces Juche ideology, suppressing identity and promoting obedience. Yet, beneath the surface, quiet rebellion exists. In Jangmadang black markets, smuggled clothes and cosmetics from China and South Korea are sold in secret. Some youth wear fitted pants or subtle makeup, small risks with big meaning. In a country where even your wardrobe is watched, what you wear can signal defiance or loyalty. And in North Korea, every thread counts. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support means a lot to us. Click on the video that appears on your screen right now. I hope you'll love this content. Comment below about the next topic you'd like to see featured on our channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Thanks for being with us. Leave a comment, like to show your support, and remember to hit that subscribe button for more exciting videos. See you next time.